I want to share with you how the $700 minimum has completely changed my landscape business and made me more money than anything. If I can narrow it down to one thing, I want to serve you right now. If you're new in your landscaping business, 1 to 3 years, this I think can make you the most amount of money the fastest, providing that you actually care, you have a servant's heart, you do a great job for your customers, you do a great job. It's the job minimum. So here's my job minimum. It's $700 to do any job. What is your minimum price to do anything? And if that scares you because you're afraid you're going to lose customers, well, you will. But there's a saying. Now that we're talking about job minimums, I want to get into a few things and break this down for you so you're aware and you can articulate it so you don't do something silly and start losing all your customers. I made that mistake too. So if you get customers that you've had for a while, you got to keep them how you got them. That means however you got those customers, you set a price precedence with them, and now that's what they believe the job should cost. So if you're giving them incremental price changes each year, which you should anyways, above 10% or maybe 15%, they're going to freak out. Some of them will quit. And the customers that you think are your friends will fire you over a few bucks. So it's a numbers game. You have to learn to not wear your heart on your sleeve. But here's where you draw a line, and now we're going to get to what we talk about, the split test, okay? So now that I've talked about the low price precedents, I'm getting to split testing for you. You set a rule, right? Rules aren't permanent. They could be broken. It's up to your discernment. It's a case-by-case basis. But a general rule is all new customers coming into your pipeline, into your funnel, into your hopper, you know what I'm saying? You draw a line down the center of them and you say, all right, we're going to do a test here. We're going to do a 10 to 15, maybe 20% price increase for all new customers coming, higher than what you've normally been charging, right? And then the other 50%, you're just going to go all out and swing for the fences and charge what you would really love to charge in your heart. And mathematically what you actually need to charge to run a fully sustainable, legitimate business. And you can also take a third, if you want to triangle this, metric. That's your job minimum. Mine is a $700 job minimum. Now, a couple things I want to warn you. Now that we've talked about that, my minimum job was anything. I need money. Then I was like, that's it. It's a $99 minimum. Then it went to $199 minimum. Then it went to $299 job minimum. Then it went to it was like a $350 minimum. Then I just kept raising it. And then now it's at $700, okay? If you're in your first 1 to 3 years in your business, that might be a horrible idea for you. Your job minimum might be, I don't know if you cut lawns or what type of work you do, but it might be $50, it might be $300, but here's why. You got to determine how much does it cost for you to take your truck out and run your crew each day, everything included, all the way down to the brake pads, to oil changes, to replacing your equipment. Figure out all your cost of goods sold, your administrative functions, your taxes, the cost of your insurance. Get all that down and figure out your budget, and then figure out how much it costs you per day to run your truck. It might be $500, right? It only cost me $833 a day to run a truck. That's all. So, you can, if you want to see this on paper, go to keithkelfas.com/budget, and you can download all of this. I've documented it. You could see it all, and it's a whole budget. You could just download it. I'll put it in the link in the description below. But so that means if you have to make $350 a day to run your truck, and you go out and you go make $400 for the entire day, essentially you only made $50 for working your tail off all day. That's insane. So you might want to come up with a job minimum that says, hey, we have a $350 job minimum, and we have to get this job done in this many hours, 2 to 3 hours. It has to be done before noon because you want to get to the next job and get another job completed. So the reason I have a $700 job minimum is because I want to make sure that I always make money no matter what. And another way you can do this is by figuring out your 50% gross profit margin rule. I actually learned this from Tom Reber from the Contractor Sales Academy, and this changed my life and changed my business. I won't get too much into that right now, but shout out to Tom Reber. Thank you for teaching me that originally. Figure out your job minimum and stick to it. It's going to be scary. But if you have enough customers coming in and new customers, and you have the difficult conversation with yourself, and then the positive, friendly, uplifting, professional conversation with your customers, then it'll work out for you. And if you believe in your heart you're worth it, you will get it, and you'll get it every single time. So instead of undercharging and getting caught in what I call the lowball trap, it's this weird trap where you get stuck in repeatedly undercharging over and over and over and over, and it's like a current that pulls you underneath, and you're trapped in this thing, and it's so stressful. And then before you know it, like 6 weeks just went by, and you did a bunch of jobs where you worked your tail off, and you barely made any profit. My friend Stan Genetic, the Dirt Monkey, taught me, he said, in your season, you only have so many weeks on your calendar and so many days. What are you going to put in those days on that calendar? If you have enough leads coming in and you have enough emotional strength and logical and mathematical wits to calm down when you have requests coming in for new work, with new customers or existing customers asking for more work, to just take a second to take a breath and say, all right, this is a moment for me to be strong right now. This is a moment for me to really swing for the fences. I know I need this work. I know I need this money. But how many leads are coming in? You know the saying, beggars can't be choosers. If you hear me stuttering, I've invested in Invisalign, and I took them out of my teeth just now so I can make this video, and it's messing up my speaking, actually, because anyways. So, instead of taking the safe route and just saying yes to the low price, because if you keep doing that, you're going to wake up in a spot you don't want to be in. Just take a chance and start swinging for the fences and being confident and saying, you know what? Instead of charging $1,500 and not getting paid what you're worth, you do a great job. This one's going to be $2,100. And now, there's two things happening right now in my mind that I want to express to you. If you want to make more money for nothing more simply than the fact, then you just want to make more money. Hear me out. That is okay if you are 100% conscious for that reason why, and you believe it in your gut that you're genuinely worth it because you really care and you really do a great job, and you want to make a good income too, so you can take care of your family, so you can start saving for retirement, so you don't die poor. That makes sense. And then the second thing going on in my mind is, if you have all the mathematical justifiable reasons why you need to charge $2,100 instead of $1,500, and you know why, right? Then that's a stack of undeniable proof that says, hey, I need to charge this much because. And it could be as far as, how about this? Who do you want to contribute to eventually? Do you want to make and generate enough money? Or you want to take care of your clients, right? I'm just saying, these people, everybody should be treated equally and fairly. But if you're doing work for someone that lives on an $850,000 house, they got brand new BMWs in the driveway, they just got back from Hawaii, they got a vacation house in Florida, they got a big ass camper in their driveway, they're blowing money like crazy because they make so much money. It doesn't mean you should charge them more just because they make a bunch of money. They probably worked hard for all that, right? They deserve it. But what I'm saying is, don't negotiate against yourself. My friend Coach Rob talks about this all the time. I had this horrible habit because I grew up so poor, and I always wanted to be a good person, and I wanted to be a nice guy so much that I would negotiate against myself. And he would say, I've warned you multiple times that to stop negotiating against yourself. And it really took some time for me to think about that. So just stop and say your price. And I bet you one thing will happen. When you say your price, and the customer says, that's awesome, when can we get it done? And you go, huh? When you're on that job, and you do the job, and as you're doing the job, something happens. Your subconscious mind reshuffles the deck. Your emotions change a little. You go, wait, this was worth $2,100 the whole time. What was I doing charging $1,500? Of course this is worth $2,100. And you're done, you get the check, you watch your bank account go up, you pay your bills a lot easier, and you go, wow, this is what it's like over here. It's all you. Get it done. Oh, and check out the links below if you want the budget. KeithKalfas.com/budget. See you soon.